Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is the long-awaited wedding makeup tutorial. So this is the makeup I wore on my actual wedding day. And I've been getting so many questions asking when I was going to post this. And I just wanted to wait until we got our images back from our photographer. That way you can see how the makeup translated into photos and just in different lighting. I knew if I did this tutorial and I didn't have images, people would say, oh, okay, well, how did it photograph? So I wanted to wait until we got those back, and we finally got them back. So here I am doing the look. This is the exact same look I did on my wedding day, exact same products, all of that fun stuff. I pretty much took bits and pieces from each wedding tutorial that I posted in my wedding series. I sat down on my wedding day and I still did not 100% know the look that I wanted to do. I had an idea, but I kind of just took bits and pieces from each tutorial because I like different things about different looks. And this is what I came up with. Very me, just, you know, classic. Went a little bit more bold with the winged liner than what I initially had planned to, but I also want you guys to keep in mind that on my wedding day I was a bit more fair than what I am right now. I spent a week in the Caribbean and I've just been outside a lot, so the makeup will probably translate a little bit differently on me now since my skin tone is darker. Just wanted to throw that out there compared to the photos that you're gonna see, but just know all the products are the same. And I think that's it, other than my hair. Obviously this is not the hair look that I did on my wedding day. There's no way I would be able to recreate that, and I know you guys wanted to see a tutorial on it, but I chopped a lot of length off my hair, and there's just no way possible we would be able to recreate that updo with the length of my hair right now. So just take a photo into your stylist. I posted photos of the back of my hair on Instagram and Twitter, and I'm sure your stylist can replicate it. It's a pretty intricate updo, but I feel like it's nothing that, you know, if someone's trained in hair, I feel like they should be able to achieve it. So that is all. Let's go ahead and start. For primer, I use the Smashbox Pore Minimizing Primer, and mainly on my forehead since that's where my lines are the most prominent. I used a little bit around my nose and also underneath my eyes just to fill in any places that might crease. And for foundation, I chose the Makeup Forever Ultra HD stick. I actually mixed a little bit of the liquid in too, which made no sense. I was just so indecisive, but I ended up just going back and applying mostly the Makeup Forever stick. So this is just really fast, and I think that's why I chose it. It was just really convenient and fast and easy to apply, and I knew that I love the finish of it anyway. So I just buffed that in with an IT Cosmetics brush. This is the Heavenly Luxe foundation brush. I think that's what it's called. But just made sure that that was buffed in really nicely, and then moved into concealer. And for concealer, I mixed two. I mixed the Makeup Forever Ultra HD and the Tarte Shape Tape. And I really just did this because the color of these two matched me really well. And I honestly would have just stuck with the Makeup Forever probably by itself, but I just felt like the combination of these two colors matched my skin at the time the best, and that's why I did it. And I went pretty heavy on the concealer because I did want pretty flawless skin just for photos, so I definitely went a little bit more heavy than what I normally would have, but I really liked it because it made my skin look flawless in pictures. And to set my skin, I mainly use the bareMinerals Hydrating Mineral Veil. This is like my go-to powder. It sets the skin, but it doesn't give a powdery effect. And for those wondering, no, it does not have flashback to it. It's a very lightweight powder, and it just kind of blends into your skin really naturally. And then to set the lower part of my face, I normally do this when I use liquid. I use the Lorac Porefection Powder. And this is basically a baked powder. It offers a little bit of coverage, and I just apply this around the lower part of my face and my jawline, mainly because that's where foundation tends to come off of my face first, and that's probably because that's where I touch my face, but I just use that to ensure that the foundation was locked into place. And for contour, I use the Physicians Formula contour palette. I just use the grayish contour tone in there, and just very slightly. I obviously did not want to have a harsh gray contour going on, so I just used a little bit to sculpt my cheeks. And then I just moved into bronzing, and I used my trusty NARS Laguna bronzer. As you can see, it's well loved. And I just kind of did a rough bronzing session, just bronzed up the skin a little bit. I actually did not have too much of a tan on my wedding day, just because I was only using the in shower tan from Jergens. So I really made sure to try to bronze up my skin a little bit extra. And for blush, this is the MAC Cremeblend blush in the shade Something Special. Unfortunately, this is discontinued. They still make Cremeblend blushes, but it's hard to find a shade like this. I will try to find something similar and list it down below. It's kind of a warm tone pink, and I just love it. It makes your cheeks look like they're fresh and kind of like a pinched look. And I knew I wanted to use this blush just for that reason. It's so natural and just really pretty on the cheeks. And for highlighter, of course, I've been saying this from day one. I knew I was going to use Benefit's What's Up. Again, very skin-like, natural highlight. It didn't look, crazy like I had a disco going on my face. It just kind of looked really ethereal and lit from within. And that's what I was going for. So really pleased with this product. Also held up really nicely for photos as well. Now, I sat this highlighter with a little bit of the Becca Chrissy Teigen palette, the Beach Nectar shade in there. Not really sure why. I just brought it with me and I just used it on a whim. And so, yeah, I just topped off my highlight with a little bit of that Beach Nectar shade. And then moving into brows, I use the Hourglass Arch and Define Brow Pencil. And really nothing special here. I just sculpted out my brows like I normally would. Tried not to go overboard with it. And yeah, I mean, there's nothing special. I contemplated whether I should even put this in here because this is how I do my brows all the time. But I thought you guys might want to see. So I just basically focused on the lower portion of my brow to fill in like any sparse areas. And then just kind of lightly colored in the rest of my brows. And then I sat it with the Makeup Forever Tinted Brow Gel in the shade 25. I really like this stuff, by the way. And for my eyes, I use NARS Pro Prime Eyeshadow Primer. It's really good if you have oily eyelids. And I took my trusty Stila in the Lights palette. This is discontinued, but they do make one that's almost identical to it. I'll have the name listed down below. But I took the shade Bliss, which is like one of my all-time favorite eyeshadow colors. It's kind of like a mauve shade. And I just buffed that all over my lid, and this was my main eyeshadow color. Like, this is all I did for an actual eyeshadow on the lid. And I just buffed it. I just buffed it all over, and then I took a little bit of the matte cream shade in the palette and used that to highlight my brow bone and just to add a little bit of dimension so it's not just, one flat color. And to highlight my inner corners, I took the shade Kitten, which is kind of iconic from Stila, and I just used that on the inner corner of my eye. I didn't have shimmer anywhere else on my eyes. I knew I wanted a pretty flat eye look, and this just kind of helped my eyes pop a little bit. For liner, I used the Loreal Infallible gel liner in Espresso. And I basically just lined my eyes like I normally would if I were doing a winged eyeliner. You don't have to make this perfect if you use the technique that I use, because I actually just went back over it with eyeshadow and really smudged it out. But you do want to get the general shape of your wing going, and then basically I just picked up a really dark brown eyeshadow on a flat brush, and I just started to go over where I applied the gel liner, and this is like one of my favorite techniques. It just makes the liner look a little bit more smoky and I don't know, just like almost like a romantic look as opposed to the sharp gel look. So yeah, that's all I did for my liner. I just buffed over the top of it with some dark brown shadow and called it a day. Now for my lashes, I actually stacked 2 pairs of Demi Wispies together. So what you're seeing here is basically 2 Demi Wispies stacked on top of one another. And then I just applied them straight to my lid. Again, this was something I wasn't sure of the day of my wedding, and I did this on a whim, and I really like the way it turned out. Demi Wispies by themselves are really natural. I just didn't feel like they went with my wing, so I just stacked them and doubled them up, and they were perfect. So that's what I did. And then I just applied that excess brown shadow to my lower lash line and applied a tad bit of waterproof mascara to my lower lash line. And that was it for the eyes. Now the lips are a little tricky because I actually swapped out a couple of different colors. My lip liner was Charlotte Tilbury's Lip Cheat and Pillow Talk, and my first choice was actually what you see in the thumbnail of this video. I mixed bareMinerals Swag Liquid Lipstick, which is what I'm applying right now, and then I also mixed in Frenemy Liquid Lipstick. Now the photo that you saw on my Instagram that I wore for the actual ceremony, that was bareMinerals Swag with bareMinerals Juju. So I'll list that down below. I know it's confusing, but right here I'm just applying Swag and Frenemy, and that's what I wore for the majority of just my close-up photos, what you'll see in like the actual makeup shots. And here I just applied bareMinerals Cult on top to lighten it up a bit, and then I applied, I actually didn't wear lip gloss for my ceremony, but afterwards I applied MAC's Oyster Girl, which is one of my like all-time favorite shiny lip glosses. And that completes the entire look. This was the finished look. I really liked it. Just a nice neutral kind of pinkish lip. I kind of thought I was going to go with more of a beige lip, but the pink kind of grew on me after I did my tutorials, so I went with more of a warm tone pink shade, and I really liked the way it turned out. It was very me, very what I was going for. And these are a few shots of my makeup that we got. This is with indoor lighting, and then the next 2 are outdoors. So you can see a difference with the editing. It's a little lighter. My skin tone appears a little bit more fair. That's just editing for lighting purposes. This was right before and right after the ceremony, and then this was kind of like afterwards when we were getting our photos. I know you can't see them too well, but it's best I had for those. And then this was at the end of the reception. So 8 hours in, wedding's almost over. These are the last ones that we got. So hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below, and I'll see y'all in my next one. Bye.